Hi guys, today is the 18th of March 2019 at 10:43 in the morning over here in the UK, and I just want to quickly put out an interpretation and emphasize warning for New York and possibly Maine. I'm getting that from the house over here. Now, if we just zoom in very quickly, you can see that the flames, they look like they make up letters or numbers. I'm just going to quickly point out, I think this letter references an M. The house itself, because if you can see down here, there's a little gap here, and the other side, the line kind of overextends. So it's almost as if this bar was drawn separately, and the rest of it was drawn together, which makes up the letter A. And then you've got I, and then you've got N. If you can see the little gap just here, that makes an N. And then you've got the letter E. So Maine. But also, you've got the reference to N, and in the middle here, Y. But also, the flame, this particular flame, is also in the shape of a lobster claw. Now, putting all of those together, Maine, lobster, New York, I'm thinking red lobster. Again, that's emphasized by the red of the actual lobster claw that they've drawn here. So, Maine, New York, lobster, red lobster, which I think there's a couple red lobsters in New York. But one that is drawing my attention is the one in Queens for two reasons in association with the iPad Go-To video. The shark on the board, which represents the submarine, its head is made up of a sideways pound coin symbol. You can see that just there. And a little bit further in the video, the pound coin bomber's foot has a crown on it, which at the moment is being worn by the Queen. So, having, again, in this scene, you've got the Big Apple again, which is referenced in New York. So, New York and pound coin, crown, Queen, New York, Queens. So, red lobster, New York, Queens. I don't know what's going to happen or if anything's going to happen, but looking at the video, there's a possibility of explosion of some kind. That may be linked to a missile launch. I don't know. Obviously, that wouldn't just affect red lobster, that would affect the whole area. So my main thought is some sort of, I don't know, underground explosion. Obviously, again, in reference to the pound coin and the pound coin symbol, that's a reference to England. Maine itself is in New England. It's a New England themed chain, red lobster. So it all connects again, New England, Maine, red lobster, New York, Queens. It all seems to be there. So I keep an eye out for anything happening there. I don't know when. There's dates of interest. The 20th and 21st of March coming up. The 29th of March, where we were supposed to have Brexit. That's now been delayed. I don't know if that's a subliminal symbolic message for other things being delayed. But it has been delayed, so it's possible that we may not see anything happen on the 29th of March if something was supposed to happen. Then there's April the 15th, Exodus, biblically, historically, took place on that date. And then I'm also keeping a close eye on April 29th, taken from a show called Flash Forward, where people go unconscious for 2 minutes and 17 seconds, and they flash forward 6 months to April 29th. And I've always found that very interesting, because in one of the protagonists' visions, he is on April 29th, and he's written on a notepad, "Who else knows?" circled in red. It's a very quick flash, couple of seconds on screen, but that stuck in my mind for many years, and obviously I'm presenting it to you now. I think I also did a video on it last year. You may be able to find that on my channel. Coming up to the April time frame, so if you're going to go back, just look for April 2018. You should be able to see something in association with Flash Forward. But getting back to this, that's what I see. I drew it out a little bit so you can see the M, you can see the A, the I, the N. I left the E blank because it also represents a Y in the middle, as well as representing a lobster claw, as well as representing a flame. So I'm just putting it all together. Maine, New York, red lobster, Queens, something happening there. Um, it seems that it may be connected with the shark, which also represents a submarine, which would make the house, which is shaped like a rocket or missile, a submarine launched ballistic missile. So, and again, Maine is kind of around up here somewhere. So we do see in the beginning of the video the point of the star scroll all the way up the east coast, and it could be that there's a couple of events that will affect the entire east coast, tsunami being one of them. But just as he kind of sits down, if I can get it without playing it, I'm gonna have to play it a little bit. Heavenly Father, protect our souls. You can see how it scrolls up, and at the same time, we have the highlight on the house, the Lobster Claw, New York, the Maine reference. So, could be a direct attack on Maine, not one of the states that we look at very often for an attack, which would make it, you know, pretty prime for an attack if people aren't watching it. But then again, it could be just connecting us to Red Lobster in Queens, New York. You guys, that's all I've got for you at the moment. I've got over 1,000 reports to go through. Obviously, I've seen the news, the Christchurch killings, the emergency declaration regarding the MAX 8 and MAX 9 Boeing aircraft, which did take place on the 13th. We was looking out for a national emergency. Instead, we got a national emergency declaration involving those planes. We was looking out for a blackout on the 13th. We didn't get a nationwide blackout, but there was a major blackout in Texas, Colorado, North Carolina, Michigan, and California as well. That wasn't a major one, it was a minor one, but there were some blackouts on the 13th in association with the meteorological bomb, the storm that flowed through the Midlands, and is expected another sort of storm to be coming again this week. So there was a couple of events that looked like they were part of this interpretation or part of the last interpretation. Obviously, because there wasn't a nationwide blackout, I'm not sure that this part of the scene where it goes dark and we've got the 13 children, which gave me the reference to the 13th of March. 7 days later, 7 rolls of the apple brings us to the 20th, the 21st. So I'm still keeping an eye out on those days, the 20th and the 21st, for any volcanic activity, any tsunamis around that time. And obviously, simple code date, 29th of March. And I've already spoken about the other two, 15th of April and the 29th of April. I'll keep watching, I'll keep updating. Hopefully nothing happens. But keep an eye on Maine as the state, and also keep an eye on Red Lobster in New York, Queens, for anything happening there. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.